The tech for this podcast was produced by Truth Digital. Truth Digital is the sister company to Cochrane & Co. We work in the same office, we drink the same coffee. We do websites, marketing, paid ads, social media, SEO, and all of the other things that will get you new business quickly and efficiently without the bullshit. Check us out, truthdigital.co.uk, or check us out on socials. All handles are Truth Digital. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you here again very soon. Hello and welcome to today's episode of the UK Flooring Podcast. No guest today, just me. So what I wanted to do was actually admit that I've made a slight boo-boo. And I sent an email a few weeks ago to send a sales masterclass for retailers that we did, I think, for around 30 people live on Zoom. And I was meant to send these videos out, and it didn't happen. And I don't know if it was our systems or what actually happened, but so I thought I would do it on a podcast, an audio version. We may release it on YouTube as well, but I want to talk through some tips, tricks, tactics that you can bring into your flooring retail business, your flooring contracting business. Hopefully it's of value. You may disagree with some of my points because it's just not as easy for you as I'm saying it on this podcast. But let's hope you do take something away that you can action straight away. Now, I've trained many different retailers, from just one person sat in a little tiny shop up to people with 30, 40, 50 shops. So I've seen all sorts of different environments, and I've probably been in around 1,000 retail shops over the last 4 years. So I hope I've got my finger on the pulse of what is out there. But the thing I find time and time again, people are looking for a golden egg or magic wand. And the problem normally isn't talent. It's the execution of what you need to do. And what I mean by that is most people who own a flooring shop know what they're doing. They're flooring experts, but their execution is poor. Now, that doesn't fall into the same category if you put someone in a shop without the talent that's very proactive. That's a different thing altogether. So this is more if you own a shop and you know flooring well, but the sales are not working as you'd hoped. So the gap from where you are now to where you want to be, I believe, is to be a sales and operations problem most of the time. I mean, yes, recruitment, you need more people. Marketing, I could talk all days on these subjects. But for now, if your operations and your sales changed, so more sales and more systems and in place, in theory, you would get closer to where you want to be in revenue, financially. Yes, you're going to need more people, but this today is just on sales, really. So there's a industry myth that the busier you are, the more profitable you're going to be. Now, there's the old expression of turnover is vanity and profit insanity, and this is 100% the case. I've seen retailers being so busy, don't have time to scratch the bum in any capacity, and they're still making no money. And then I see some who are making good money and play golf and see their grandkids and pick the kids up from school. So I see it from all elements. And one thing I've learned from when I was a retailer, that I was also thinking busy means more profitable. And then when I changed a lot of things in my business, that's when the game changed. And I think removing yourself from short-term thinking, what can I do today? What should I have done yesterday? Take a step back from that a little bit and look at what long-term thinking you can do. Can you play a slightly longer game? How does that look? So CRM systems is a great way to start. People that are not using CRM systems, yes, they're a faff on to set up. Yes, they're a bit clunky. I wouldn't recommend one certain type, but if you can really utilize one and make it work to your advantage over time, it will significantly save you a lot of time and make sure you're not leaving things to chance. And what that means is repeatability over luck. And then that's what people are looking for. Retail clients are looking for a repeatable service that, in fact, in your business could be with or without you. The minute you don't need to be in your business as much, the value of your business goes up. If it's completely hanging on you doing 90% of the stuff, it's devaluing the business. Now that sounds all well and good, but it is true, but you've got to put it into place to get it to that position. So longer term, how are you going to write yourself out your business, and how are you going to get your team to get on board? If you do what you've always done, you get what you've always got. So some of these points I hope are going to be helpful, and honestly, none of this is going to change your world forever, but I want to give you a little bit of a teaser of what we do here. Most of our courses here are a day, 2 days, and really deep dive into your business and how that can make a difference. So in a sales environment, what the customer is looking for in any industry is clarity, consistency, speed, and smile. So I've called it the CCS framework. So what does that mean? So clarity, what does the client actually want? You need to understand what that client wants. You need to show an interest, be genuinely inquisitive, be interesting, be interested, not interesting. So what that means is that you don't tell them your life story. You want to know everything about them. Now that sounds odd. I've said it before on the podcast, but what I mean by that is you need to get complete clarity of what this job is before you start speaking about products, before you start jumping into a sales sort of environment. When someone comes up to you to want to buy something, talk about them. What is their house like? What are they wanting to achieve? What colours do they like? What colours don't they like? What's the budget? What's the timeline? All of these questions is what you need to do first. That's why it's first on this list. So if you catch yourself, someone coming into your retail store and jumping in, hi, I've come for a carpet. Right, I'll show you the carpets. Just stop. You've got to ask more questions first. Ask more questions first. Do not jump straight into, I'll take you over here, I'll do that. Just pause. Then the next thing from there is sell the outcomes. What I mean by that is people don't just buy flooring, they buy the result. So if you supply and fit yours, you need to be able to paint a picture of how that's going to be a smooth process from end to end, without the complications, without the resistance, and people really want to buy from you. So sell the results, not just not the flooring. So how does that look in your business? And consistency about in an environment is, I compare it to restaurants. If you've got your favorite restaurant, you expect consistency. So when you go in there, you know where you like to sit, what you like to eat, what the ambiance is. Big word that for me. And you always look for that consistency piece that you expect from your favorite restaurant. Now, this shouldn't be any different in a flooring shop, even though we don't see these customers time and time again like you would at your favorite steak dining restaurant. If you are recommended, if someone comes in again, if they've come in a couple of times, people do come in, more than once to choose flooring. But how can you get your service level no matter who is servicing, to an exceptional standard every time. An exceptional standard every time. Now, these are things you need to sit down and work out yourself. I could give you 101 ways, and if I was stood in your shop, but this is where you need to take time away from your phone, from your emails, and say, how do we become exceptional every time? Completely remarkable and completely unforgettable. That is what you're looking for. How do we get this experience to be unforgettable? Now, I'm not asking you to, put your best top hat on and do a sing and dance unforgettable, but at the moment, retail is difficult. People don't want to spend the money, but if you're completely unforgettable and exceptional, you've got a fighting chance of winning the work, no matter what the price is. The next one I want to move on to is speed. Now, speed doesn't always work for some customers, but what it does mean is if you have got, it's always good to clarify when someone needs something. Do they need it now? Do they need it in the future? Is it just pricing at the moment, maybe for something next year? But what does win work is how fast you can react. So if you're sending a written quotation, an email, a text message, speed wins the deal, because there's so many companies out there that are not prioritizing speed over service. What I mean by that is they'll come back to a point with some sort of email, which is a service bid, but they're just not putting any speed into it. You do not want to let the momentum of that sale die if you just haven't been bothered. So it's always good if you're going to send an email, text the person and say, "Hi, Mrs. Jones, just to let you know I've sent you a quotation. If it has dropped into your spam, check in there, but it should be now with you. Any other questions, let me know." I've got clients who are doing videos of, this is the product you've chose, this is how it looks. Here's a couple of jobs that we've done recently with these borders, things like that. Now, speed really, really can win the job over cost, because it makes you look efficient. It makes it look like you care. And honestly, look at how you can speed up your service, your customer service, by quoting works confirmations. Not necessarily how quick you can book people in, it's actually how quick you can respond to their request. That's the key thing. How can you speed up that process? Can you get out to visit a job quicker? Can you, I think once you've got someone, people are willing to wait for the fitting. So this is all about actually getting more sales over not getting them. So really assess your speed. And then the last one on my list was smile. The old expression, people buy from people, is 100% true. People are looking for a connection with you, that they get on with you, because really a sales environment is a trust environment. If they don't trust you, they won't buy from you. So if you do what you said you're going to do, back to the speed piece, send them photographs, send them a quote, get out and measure. If any of those bits fail on, you're not doing what you said you would do. Now, it's essential that you raise that bar of customer service and really show that you care. What I mean by this, I see so many retailers, or even, let's say, probably not the owners, but could be people that are sat in the shops, and customer walks in, just go, "You all right?" And that's it. It's like, "You all right?" And then "I'm fine, thanks." That to me, I don't know if it's what it is. It's laziness. It's untrained. People are looking for that interaction. I know when you walk in, people don't like salespeople. Well, look at how you can not look like a salesperson. Unfortunately, you are a salesperson because you have a retail store. But good afternoon. How are you doing? What flooring? What room are you looking to put flooring in? And all of these are going to be greeted with a smile. Another little trick for you is try answering the phone while smiling. So if you pick the shop phone up, if you pick your mobile up and it's a customer, try smiling upon answering the call. It makes a big difference to the tone of your voice and the perception someone's got. So smiling there is, you've got to have this sort of interaction between you and the customer. What people are looking for is a bit of confidence. Now, not an ego-led, not a overconfident approach, but be calm, be firm, but be the authority of that conversation. If you are suggesting things like, oh, we might be able to do this, we could do that, let me think about that, you are devaluing the sale. I think if you are calm, friendly, but firm, what I mean by firm is if someone says, oh, well, the floor's flat, so you won't need to self-level it, something like that, and then we all know that that's probably unlikely. At that point, you can be firm and say, look, I want to be 100% straight up with you. This will need leveling. This will need that, and it is going to cost extra, but that's how you do the job properly. So rather than like umming and ahhing, and it just can't have this slight air of lack of confidence. And I suppose that also comes round to, I spoke to someone the other day that was going through cash flow issues and didn't have much work in the diary. Now, this is a little bit of fake it before you make it. If you are having cash issues or you're really up against it, and that comes across in this sales environment, like, oh, I can just get you in, and you need to kind of put up a bit of a front that you've still got work in the diary, you are still your worth, and dropping your price when you are quiet is financial suicide. We've all done it, where, oh, should we go in at a cheaper price just so we win the job? But if you had work booked till like 3-4 months in advance, you probably wouldn't do that. So you either need to be at the minimum halfway between, or you need to hold your nerve and say, look, we're extremely busy at the moment, but I will do my best to fit you in. They don't know what's going on in your business. They don't know your financial position, but you need to be firm, be calm, and be the authority in the conversation. You also need to be ready for price objections at the moment, where price is not everything, but in some shops and locations it is. So you need to have a real good look at your perceived value. So, I mean, again, I was speaking to someone the other day that was just putting a discount on, so their perceived value was better. For me, they've been established 30 years, so why are we not just saying we always give you the best price? This is, and give people alternatives. Here's one option, here's two options. Give them a couple of options and explain the difference in value and explain why one is much more than the other, rather than discounting, dropping prices. It just adds to confusion. If someone's in business as well, they'll sniff you out. They'll even they may not do even if they're not in business, they might sniff you out. But these 50% sales and this, that, and the other, it's just a load of crock of shit, in my opinion. You might not agree, but perceived value is everything. So giving people options on prices rather than dropping your margin or dropping that is so much better. So really, this sales waffle I'm doing on this podcast is just about sharpening up your whole process. I always take dedicated 3 or 4 hours out of a month of how we can sharpen this out, how we're going to do, what we're going to implement, then get the team together, see how we can improve it, because normally one head, 3 heads, 4 heads is better than 1 head. So your sales process, define what it is, how it's going to look, and how your expectations are, and how to be remarkable and rememberable. How you're going to measure it, that's also, if you're not measuring anything, if you're not keeping score, I'm not sure how you're going to look to improve. So you need to look at how you're going to measure the success. Have you got conversion rates? Have you got even bottom line profit? How many customers are you getting through the door? Keep score of what you're doing, and look at when these improvements come in, see if you can get the percentages up. So as a business owner, you might not be an accountant, but I'm sure you can use a calculator to measure what you would class as success. And then once you measure it, you can then improve it from there and repeat the process. Another thing that so many people don't do, which is absolutely nuts, is the follow-up. If you are not following up your quotations, you're absolutely off your head. You're spending all that time with them in the shop, you're spending all the time doing a quotation, and then you were just hoping that they'll go with the job. Someone within your business, preferably a key member of staff, has a set follow-up process, a set way of doing it, and all you are doing is ringing up or contacting. I was going to say contacting. Don't just email them because that's lazy as well. Give them a call, get them on the phone. Hi, Mrs. Smith. We sent you the quote last week. I'm just ringing. It was quite detailed, the conversation we had. Do you have any questions about the work? Do you have any questions about the product? Have you got all the samples you need? Is there anything else you need from us as a business? Follow up, follow up, follow up. The fortune is in the follow up. So I hope this was valuable. It's been a bit of a whistle-stop tour, but maybe listen again at some of the points I've made. And then what are you going to change this week? What can be changed this week? What can be changed in the next 3 months? And then what will be changed by this time next year? Play the longer game with the sales. Doing quick, fast things is all well and good, but if you're not remarkably memorable, you'll be completely forgotten. Hope this was of value to you. Thank you for listening to this quickfire. If you need help and you still do not get and you want to avoid the sales, I'd love to speak to you. I'd rather work on a one-to-one basis to really sharpen yours up, because so many retail shops have different markets, different customers, different demographics. So this was very, very generic, but normally I can spot the major flaws so we can get your conversion rate up, get your margin up, and make running a flooring business more enjoyable, more profitable, and make you stand out from your competition. Have a fantastic week, and if you want to personally reach out to me to get a bit of free training one-to-one, I'd love to hear from you. tom@cockerellandco.co.uk is my email. tom@cockerellandco.co.uk. Thanks again. We'll see you again here very soon. The sponsor for this show is us, is Cockerell & Co. What do Cockerell & Co do? Well, we help flooring shops, retailers, contractors, wholesalers, and anyone connected to the flooring industry spend more time doing productive things, putting systems and processes in place, making more bottom line profit, and running their business much more efficiently than they ever thought was possible. We run training courses, we have a community of nearly 100 people, and this podcast too. So if you want to know more about what we do, the best place to find us is either on socials, Cockerell & Co, or the website, which is cockerellandco.co.uk. We'd love to speak to you about how your business is going, what your plans are, and how you would love to grow and mature that over time. There is no cost to have a conversation with us on Zoom or on the telephone. We now have a fantastic senior leadership team who can help you with 99.9% problems, and if we can't help you, we will find someone that can. So no matter what flooring business you've got, what help you would need, you just need to ask. That is all. So without the corporate waffle, without the bloke in the shiny suit, but someone that wants to make more money and spend time doing things that you love, we would love to hear from you. Again, visit cockerellandco.co.uk and send us a message, or find us on LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook and Instagram.